The infection on a cruise ship off West Africa can be spread from person to person. The last 3 passengers thought to have the strain of Hantavirus were evacuated overnight. We're also told another person who left the ship days ago is being treated for the virus in Switzerland.
The 3 remaining passengers showing symptoms possibly linked to the deadly Hantavirus were evacuated by boat from the MV Hondius. Video shows them being ferried from the moored cruise ship off the coast of Cape Verde to the shore. The Spanish government says the ship, with nearly 150 passengers on board, will sail to the Canary Islands for a full disinfection. That journey is expected to last 3 to 4 days. A statement from Spain's health ministry says medical teams from the islands will examine and treat passengers and crew before sending them back to their home countries. This comes after 2 confirmed cases and 5 suspected cases of the rare Hantavirus were reported on the ship. Of those, 3 people have died and 1 person is in critical condition. Meanwhile, some passengers who are still on board have shared that they feel they're being well taken care of while quarantined. Jordanian-Palestinian travel influencer Qasim Ebn Hattuda shared his view on board the ship with his millions of followers on social media.
اللي أمامنا هناك دولة كيب فيردي الرأس الأخضر ولكن ممنوع ننزل عليها.
In a statement to CBS News, he said, quote, "Our days have been close to normal, just waiting for authorities to find a solution. But morale on the ship is high, and we're keeping ourselves busy with reading, watching movies, having hot drinks, and that kind of things."
We are learning the potentially deadly infection on a cruise ship off West Africa can be spread from person to person.
What's going on, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. And this Hantavirus thing is beginning to really take legs right now. Not only was this ship affected, but also there's someone on a plane who just recently contracted the virus. And you have a few other isolated events in various countries. And this thing is beginning to pick up steam. And I noticed in this broadcast here, I believe this is CBS Morning News, or it may even be Fox Morning News. But however, you know, y'all remember that person who was on the ship recording a video that made his news runs when he sounded like he was panicking. You know, they say that morale is real good on the ship, but clearly not from everyone. So we're getting conflicting stories there. And might I add that the first individual who was saying, hey, we on this ship, everything is uncertain, he seemed to be panicking and fright. I just want to say for the record that it looks staged. And to be quite frank with you, brothers and sisters, I don't really believe half of what I see and nothing I hear nowadays. They've been chopping at the bit for another pandemic type of situation. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Luciferian global elite, you know, the Satanists, the 33rd degree Masons who actually are fueled by corporate greed, money, and power. They've been chopping at the bit. And right now in this time we're living in, we are in the last days. The world is coming to the end, and a lot of fear is beginning to rise in people. There's a lot of atmospheric changes going on. To be clear with you, you know, the world is coming to an end, but those who represent the Most High, those who are chosen, those who are enlightened, those who can see, we comprehend that there will be a new world that will come soon after. And the old ways will die out. And for some, it's really scary because they're thinking everything is just going to end and everything is going to cease to exist. However, what's really transpiring is the old way, this barbaric, satanic way, this capitalistic dog eat dog philosophy, this misappropriated wealth culture, all of that has to come to an end. And you got to look at the state of the world right now. You got the Philippines in a state of an emergency. You got Cuba damn near completely collapsed. They haven't had power for months now. You got all this death going on in the Middle East and in the land of Israel. You got Americans working 3, 4, and 5 jobs and barely scraping by and making ends meet, I would say that the old way has to die. But we're going to talk more about these atmospheric changes, and we're going to really hone in on this hantavirus, because some of you all may not have caught the news, but this thing is really beginning to spread. And I would not be surprised if we get another shift like we had back in 2020. And y'all know when 2020, the COVID virus came into play, everything changed. And it seems like we're right in time for another huge shift. And they love to use these viruses. But nonetheless, y'all already know how we do. We bring nothing but the truth. So as you enter the broadcast, make sure you get the likes up. Let's get to it.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. New breed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Welcome back, everybody. It's good to have y'all for another broadcast. Peace and blessings to everybody joining us. Listen, y'all, right now, there's a lot of strategic destabilization going on. And it's causing a lot of systemic pressure. It's causing a lot of cultural exhaustion, a lot of global uncertainty, but it's all planned. It's all planned. And right now, you see a lot of mass anxiety taking place, you know, and I know at this point, a lot of people are just getting crisis fatigue, straight up crisis fatigue. But before we go into all of that, first of all, let me greet y'all, the good people, man. What is going on? Daniel Latson's in the building. Shawnee Wayne is in the house. Deborah Carroll's in the building. What's going on? Kickboxer Gal is in the house. What's good? She said she's here for another knockout show. That's right. I appreciate y'all's presence. Danielle Ladson's in the building. Tania. All right, I'm glad to have y'all. So the World Health Organization just announced that this hantavirus can now spread from person to person. So we got some new strand that is actually worse than COVID-19. I think the C19 virus had a 30% chance, 30% mortality rate. This one got a 40% mortality rate. So this leads me to believe that they're trying to push something else, y'all. So this is something that we got to look out for and what's going on here. But
The Health Organization does not have good news when it comes to that Hantavirus outbreak, the one on a cruise ship that's still bobbing around the Atlantic Ocean. The WHO believes the outbreak was caused by a rare strain that can be passed between humans. Now, the majority of hantavirus strains are transmitted via rodent droppings and can't be passed person to person, but that does not seem to be the case here. So why is that? No rodents were found on board, and as of Tuesday, 3 passengers died and 7 more fell ill. Even more alarming, if it does in fact turn out to be this human-to-human strain, it carries with it a 40% mortality rate. This rare strain is referred to as the Andes virus and is only found in the mountains of Chile and Argentina. Now, the cruise started its weeks-long voyage in Argentina on March 20th, but I should note, not specifically in an area where the strain is usually found, but still. Officials believe the original carrier of the virus could have been infected before boarding the cruise. Medical teams wearing full personal protective gear have reportedly boarded the ship to help with the suspected cases in 2 crew members, one British and one Dutch, and then test other passengers and crew who are showing symptoms of hantavirus. The ship remained anchored off the African island nation of Cape Verde on Tuesday. The WHO said Spain granted the permission to dock in the Canary Islands, but Spain's health ministry reportedly refuted the idea, saying that they're still waiting for data to be gathered from the boat before making the final decision as to whether or not to let the ship dock. The World Health Organization does not have...
And, you know, I've seen a lot of people making videos reacting, and people are just pretty much being selfish about the situation. And what I mean by that is people saying, hey, just leave these people stranded at sea. You know, we just don't want... We don't want this to come to us. Listen, whatever is meant to come here or be spread abroad. Listen, the media has a strange way of making things spread. Now you take that however you want to take it. Because this just last month, a couple months ago, wasn't even a virus that even existed. It didn't spread from human to human. Now, all of a sudden, it's spreading from human to human. Now, all of a sudden, while the mass majority of people are contemplating leaving America or traveling abroad to discover other places to live, all of a sudden, people getting hantavirus on planes, because yes, the news reported somebody on a plane got it. They're getting it on ship. Airports are getting shut down because they're going out of business. All of a sudden, anything that involves traveling and even land, because you got gas going sky high, land or sea or air, all of a sudden, everybody's being discouraged at a time where more people left the United States in the last 2 years than came in the United States. And that's just a fact. The census have already been released. So, you know, the media has a way of actually fear mongering something into existence. They have a way of doing so. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Tracy Henry, I appreciate it. As well as, oh, Tracy Henry again, thank you for the support. Yeah, so it's just the timing of all this is rather interesting, right? Right while we have everybody trying to leave America.
Remember we had the last pandemic and people was in grocery markets fighting over toilet paper? Toilet paper. So it was a deadly virus. People walked by the fruits and vegetables to get toilet paper. It was symbolic because this reality is a shit show. Now they have a new virus that could spread. I hope people don't go out there and buy toilet paper again. This video's about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. I hope this shit don't spread because I am not trying to wear a mask again. Did you know when you wear this mask, it cuts you off from your spirit? Most of these viruses attack what? Our respiratory system. And where do our spirit live at? In our respiratory system. Let me ask you that question again. Where do our spirit live at? What just happened? They closed down Spirit Airlines. Now they have a ship with a virus that attacks our respiratory system. All this took place in the month of May. Mayday, Mayday. The word Mayday is a distress call for life-threatening emergencies on planes and ships.
And remember May 1st, they called it May Day, and they called it an economic blackout, and that everybody would participate in this economic blackout. There's a lot of rituals going around in May. You know, really, you're looking at a lot of sacrifice going on. The Beltane rituals happen around this time. So, yes, the symbols are there, but let's continue.
Virus on a ship. Spirit Airlines, a plane. Right now, we are dealing with a Mayday, but we don't know how to read the signs no more. These people only have one purpose: to kill the spirit. Why do you think they cut all the trees down? The pollution, the cigarette smoking. If you cannot breathe, guess what? Your spirit is going to leave your lungs. Your lungs is the battery to your avatar. But if it's toxic, it's going to leave. Who the fuck want to live in a toxic environment? Fear, 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 fear. When you fear something, it manifests faster.
Exactly. When you fear something, it manifests faster. And keep in mind, May is Mental Health Month as well. So they're going to come real crazy with the psychological warfare. You got to peep what they're doing. And you're going to start seeing a lot of circulations, and you're going to see numbers popping up here, popping up there. This is eerily similar to what happened with the pandemic in 2020. Eerily similar, y'all. Let's continue.
Do not fear this new virus. Understand what they're trying to tell you. Right now, we are in a Mayday situation. But when you need help, don't call for them. Call for your ancestors. Remember, we had the last pandemic and people wasn't.
No, call on the Most High. You feeling some type of way? You know, number one, I'm gonna just put this out here. Stop eating the flesh of swine. Stop eating this damn fast food. You know, make sure in the summertime you get all your nutrients, your micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals in your body. That's how you're supposed to do it. Why it's the season of watermelons with seeds, eat as many as you can. I'm not going to go too far into that right now because I can go on and on about what you got to do from a practical sense. But don't let fear consume you, because this is the main weapon they use. I mean, now remember, they said that those people on that ship was at high spirits. Now I want you to look at this staged nonsense right here.
I am currently on board the MV Hantavirus, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now.
I'm not buying what they selling. See, this is how it started. You hire your damn crisis actors and then let the games begin. Jeff, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. This is what they do. And I want you to peep this.
Ahora la OMS sospecha que el virus sí se pudo haber transmitido de humano a humano dentro del crucero.
My bad. This one's not in English. It's not the one I was looking for. There's another one that's in English. But let's go here.
Hantavirus is 50 fucking times as fatal as COVID. The mortality rate for COVID was 0.8%. The mortality rate for Hantavirus is literally 40 fucking percent.
I stand corrected. I thought it was about 3 times as deadly, but according to her research, she's saying 50 times as deadly. But this is the type of stuff that's being pushed and promoted right now. But like I said, I'm not buying what they're selling. They still haven't gave us the origin of where this came from. Later on, we might end up finding out there's some patent number. Marville, thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And the Secretary of Health is some guy who doesn't believe in vaccination, drinks raw milk, and cuts off raccoon dicks. Do we understand why this is fucking concerning? Hantavirus is 50 fucking times as fatal as COVID.
And you got a lot of people trying to be opportunists and push fear. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now, call on the Most High. A lot of people show a form of godliness, but deny the power thereof. All of a sudden, these people told us that this virus is all of a sudden human to human, and we just going to be buying what they selling. Far as we know, ain't nobody on the ship, and it's all a play.
Hey, breaking fuck news. I'm currently on live right now on TikTok, as you can see from the red bubble here. So this was posted 2 hours ago, and then somebody came in my live and stated, hey, they're on the news in the UK saying that there's a case in France of somebody who was not on the ship and was just in contact with one of these individuals. I searched the internet. All right, guys? I searched the internet to see if this was true. I ended up going to independent.co, which is pretty good for news. They're pretty accurate, right? And I found another news source where they are reporting now the first suspected case of hantavirus in an individual who was not on board the MV Hondius, whatever the fuck the name of the ship is, has been detected in France. If confirmed, this will be the first person to have contracted the disease who was not on the ship. A health ministry source is cited saying the case was picked up as a part of a contact tracing investigation taking place for confirmed cases. Tests are ongoing to confirm whether it is the Andes strain, which allows human-to-human transmission.
Mm-hmm. Hey, does this sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Because it feels like I've seen this movie before. And the reason why we got to pay attention to this right now is because the Hantavirus story itself and the whole atmosphere surrounding it, people remember exactly. I mean, some email came through. People remember exactly how COVID started. First, it was a few isolated headlines, exactly what we're getting right now. Then it's a strange report of a strange illness overseas. You know what I'm saying? Then comes with uncertainty, conflicting information, travel concerns. And then they start the contract tracing like they did in France. All the contact tracing, I mean. And then here comes the public anxiety. Eventually, people start really feeling like they get the symptoms. and then next thing you know is lockdown 2.0, just like someone just said in the chat. Now all of a sudden it's person-to-person transmission. The investigations are now involving airline passengers. So people are going to naturally react. It's psychological memory from 2020. It's still fresh in our minds, yo. We never went through nothing like that. So they knew that they would be able to. We knew what they would do. We knew that they'd be able to, it's crazy.
Hey, breaking fuck news. I'm currently on live right now on TikTok, as you can see from the red bubble here. So
I'd rather play Battleship than let them get off that fucking boat before the summer ends. Like, I swear to God, you guys, especially after the last pandemic and the level of stupidity that it bred, it would genuinely be the end. And I saw that video of that guy, and I do feel bad for him, where he was like, oh, we're not headlines, we're not stories, we're also just people with families. As a person with a family, stay on that fucking boat. Sit your ass down. Do not get off that shit. I'd rather play Battleship than let them get off that fucking boat.
And that's how most people are feeling right now. Just showing their selfishness. Let those people just sit over there and die if it's really happening. And that spirit alone just shows people's mentality. That right there shows people's mentality. It's all looking out for self. Somebody said her voice causes viruses. Yeah, but a lot of people are reacting this same way, trying to look out for self. That's why the scriptures say somebody who tries to save their life gonna lose it. And those who will lose their lives will save it. This type of mentality.
We have a big update right now. Spain is allowing the cruise ship with the hantavirus outbreak to dock in the Canary Islands. According to the World Health Organization today, the boat will go to the Canary Islands at some point, in which it will be inspected and disinfected. It comes on the same day we learned that human-to-human transmission of the hantavirus likely occurred on the ship, according to the WHO. Upon entry to the Canary Islands, the Spanish authorities will conduct a full investigation and disinfection of the ship. Individuals on the ship will also be screened, and they may face a possible quarantine of up to 8 weeks, according to CBS reporting. Right now, there are 7 suspected cases, 2 of which are confirmed. It's obviously a very serious situation, especially since there is now evidence of human-to-human transmission between individuals on the ship, and it's not just through rodent urine, for example, which is typically how the hantavirus spreads. I'll have another update for you soon. As always, spread the word and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come. We have a big update right now. Spain is
going to allow people to come through, will allow that ship to come through where they can pretty much face some type of quarantine. I would like to see who these people are. If the 3 people who passed away, they need to release the identity of said people. Until we have any proof, I just don't believe nothing they tell us. I look at everything as damn near a psyop, y'all. What about y'all? Let me see. Somebody says, make paper bags great again. Somebody says, interesting that it started on a ship. Isolation. And remember, there's no rules or bylaws in the water. That is interesting. Yep, that is interesting.
So did you hear about Section 24220 of the Infrastructure Act? So by 2027...
We'll go back to that. We're going to stick on to the Hantavirus breakout right now. Then we'll get to that.
All y'all had to do was keep that Hantavirus on that boat. And y'all telling me y'all let them off the boat. Y'all let them get on the plane. Y'all let them fly on plane with more people. And now they got that shit in Switzerland. And now they're trying to backtrack. Who else got it? And where they're going. And for all the people that are saying, well, we don't got to worry because it's only 3 animals. It's not only 3 animals. This is the rare case of Hantavirus that can be transmitted from person to person. Right? But of course it is. Of course it is, because every few years we have to have a pandemic. We have to have something that just fundamentally disrupts everything. So now they got an excuse to lock us down. Now they got an excuse to limit our speech and put us in quarantine, right? They have a reason, right? Now we got something floating around that has a 30 to 50% chance of killing you. Ain't that some shit? We have enough going on. Y'all can't do shit right. And you know what's the kicker, right? They took more.
So everybody's saying basically they should have left them people on the ship. Now, all of a sudden, somebody flew and they got it. Listen, the story don't make sense. Are you telling me they let somebody off to get on a plane? They end up contracting it and now they're being traced. And see, this is what I'm saying. Everybody with this self-preservation type of mentality, this is why these are the same people who are going to get sick. It'd be the people that's walking around with that big ass diaper on their face, running around shook, running around holding their cross up at everybody who walk by, anybody who sneeze or cough. They the ones who are going to get sick. Telling you right now. Everybody with that fearful spirit, that's who's gonna get it. Look, we didn't already survive one pandemic.
Man, the details on this Hantavirus cruise ship are insane. So here's the newest updates that I got just 5 minutes ago. The doctor on the cruise ship has now become sick. It was a rumor yesterday. It's confirmed today. So the doctor is sick with symptoms just like the rest. 3 people are confirmed dead. 2 have now been tested positive in Switzerland. They're not allowed to dock in the Canary Islands because apparently no one discussed that with the people of the Canary Islands. So they're not going to be able to get off there. They're still on the ship. A lot of people yesterday on my post were wondering, there's only been one video. That seems a little suspicious. I agree. But I have an answer to that. The majority of the age demographic are older. Older people don't really post a lot. And the general location that they're all from, like Germany, Eastern European, they don't really post things like Americans post and chitter chatter and things like that. So that is a reasonable explanation. Still a little bit suspicious. If you know, you know. But those are the most recent things. It has been confirmed today to be the Andes virus. So we all know what that means. But yeah, things are changing literally like that. We have a lot to talk about today, though. Man, the details on this Hantavirus cruise ship.
So that's like 5 confirmed cases just about. And they saying the doctor that was working on them got sick. You know, they're saying that quite a few people are starting to get this and they're all spread out. You know, listen, I'm going to go to a scripture, and the Bible tells us in Luke 21:11, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famine and pestilence and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Listen, Christ describes these pestilences, and then that means widespread disease, afflictions that's going to affect populations. And it's because these plagues are being used to, you know, and I want to use this word, literally purge the world. That would be what I would say, because it's, listen, anything that happens, it's supposed to happen. And the reason why all these things exist is because the level of sin, unrepentance, the level of evil and wickedness that goes on in this planet. There's no use of sitting around being afraid of something that you can't stop anyway. What's going to be is what's going to be. And we're not operating in fear. However, you know, what we're doing is staying aware, so we don't fall for the psychological warfare. I don't want y'all lining up, getting a new. We don't need to line up and do that. We done seen this movie before, y'all. Right now, all we need is one confirmed case in America. And this thing this thing is gonna leap. All you need to hear on the news is somebody in America got the hantavirus. And that is it. Y'all gonna see what's gonna happen, and I want y'all to stay grounded the entire time. This is one of the first streams that anybody did on social media, really locking in, showing you the play. And we've already said some months ago that they are coming up with another pandemic. So I don't believe this is organic at all, and that it's deeper than it's deeper than what meets the eye, right? Straight up. Now, peep this. Look at this, what they got going on in Florida, y'all.
Hey y'all, come and take a look at this. I told you guys this summer is going to be different. Cause look at what they just rolled out in Florida, bro. Look at this. The biggest EMS vehicle that has ever been created just for Florida, bro. And it looks like they got another one back there. But look at this, y'all. They're unveiling it right now, y'all. But
now, why are the EMS buses getting so huge? Now, what are they preparing for? Why are they investing in these huge EMS buses that can fit 30 and 40 people on there?
this thing over here can take about 25 patients, 25 people laying down, and then it can get people sitting down as well too.
This is the first time anybody in the public has seen the inside of this truck. Brand spanking new. I told you. Just got it. This is used for mass casualty incidents, large scale incidents where everyone involved, numerous patients being transported at one time. Okay. So this truck is actually designed to transport 21 litter patients at one time, or 25 seated patients at one time. Wow. With the capabilities of having 2 stretchers in the back as well. And we can also have a bariatric stretcher in front. If God forbid there's somebody that's like over 400, 500 pounds that cannot really fit in one of these or on a normal stretcher, they can actually winch as a winch removable. That it would winch right up that ramp.
First time anybody's ever seen this in public, y'all. And I said, this is brand new. Look at this thing, huge, y'all. This is insane.
Y'all, that thing is huge. And he's talking about mass casualty events.
That's what I'm saying. They're getting prepared for a mass casualty event. Everything is planned. Now, why are they doing this? Because guess what? Florida's governor, he knows what's going on. You know, these people sit around and have these meetings. These people know what they got planned for the world. You know, I want y'all to really consider what happened before. They're gonna to make sure that they're prepared for what's to come. I'm telling you right now, the book of Luke 21 and 25, it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon earth distress of nations with perplexity. Men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming to earth. So you got distress of nations, men's hearts failing them for fear of what's coming. See, that's societal anxiety, psychological fatigue, you know, nonstop uncertainty. These are the things that, you know, we're bracing ourselves for, not because we're afraid of it, but we're bracing ourselves so we do the complete opposite and get closer to the Most High and do what it is we need to do and prepare for what these people got planned. Because when you're afraid, that's when they get you. That's when they get you, when you're afraid, because then you make hasty decisions. They took Spirit Airline out, an affordable travel place, because they want to break the spirit. They don't want people to travel. They don't want people to discover life. They don't want people to have a yearning to live. They don't even want people taking cruises no more. I don't know about y'all, but I'm still going to take a cruise this summer. Unless they sit here and shut everything down, I'm going to be on a cruise ship. And I'm going to enjoy myself. You understand me? They're not going to kill my spirit with fear. And the reason I'm going to do that, because I ain't never been on no cruise before. I want to see what that's like. They're trying to, I'm telling y'all, they're trying to kill the spirit. It's a huge satanic ritual going on. But they're preparing for something. Look at this.
What's getting ready to happen? Okay, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but where I'm at in Florida, I've been hearing sirens going off like crazy. I made my people on YouTube aware of this a couple years ago. I said, man, I've noticed these sirens have been going crazy. And as of late, it's been blaring a lot more. And this right here makes sense. Y'all already know that Florida is known as the Sunshine State, and it's not even summer yet, bro. It feels like it's fall right now. When that summer kick up, y'all, this is crazy. This right here is that global warming special, bro. The shit is here. We are in the midst of it. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace out. Hey, y'all, come on.
Telling you. I'm telling you. And you know, I think I know why they doing this, y'all. I think I know why all of a sudden they're trying to discourage people from traveling, right? I think I get it.
For the first time in nearly 90 years, something happened in this country that almost no one alive today has ever witnessed. The last time this happened, the world was in an economic freefall. Here's what we know. No fluff, just facts. In 2025, more people left the United States than moved into it. Deportations don't explain this. These are American citizens packing up and leaving by choice. Now, at least 180,000 of them last year left, and that number is expected to be higher once every country finishes reporting. The American Psychologists Association surveyed over 3,000 adults across the country in 2025. 63% of Americans between 18 and 34 said they have considered leaving. Where are they going? Portugal, Ireland, Germany, Mexico, Southeast Asia. Ireland alone saw 9,600 Americans arrive in a single year, nearly doubling the year before. In some parts in Lisbon, home prices have doubled in 5 years because of American demand. More than 100,000 American students are now enrolled in foreign universities because the degree is more affordable abroad than at home. The Brookings Institution confirmed it. The U.S. recorded net negative migration in 2025. That means more people left than came.
More people left America than came. People are discovering life outside of America. People who are traveling abroad are relocating. More people are leaving than coming in. Keep that in mind.
And according to Wall Street Journal, the last time America saw that was 1935. The world was in collapse. Now people are leaving, not because there's nothing to run to, but because they believe there's something better. That is a different kind of signal, and it is one this country cannot afford to ignore. And now
and they're not ignoring it. They're not ignoring it. They're doing everything in their power to keep people in Babylon. It's like they're trying to lock us in Babylon. That's what's happening right now.
Shine the spotlight on you, the viewers, watching this moment play out in real time. Here's the question I bring forth to the table for open discussion. What do you think is the reason Americans are choosing to leave the country?
And y'all can answer that question in my chat. Why do y'all believe people are choosing to leave the country? I definitely have my ideas. And we're going to talk about some of those reasons in this broadcast, but, you know, feel free to share y'all thoughts. Because, you know, they're trying to stagnate everybody at this point. And this is the people of America when it comes to this Hantavirus. This is the basic mentality of people here.
And when I say that damn boat better not dock nowhere on U.S. land, I don't want to hear no Hantavirus, nothing. I'm sorry y'all are on that cruise. I really am. Don't dock the damn boat. Keep that bitch swimming until we figure it out. Otherwise, that's your home now. And when I say that damn boat better not dock nowhere on U.S. land.
Look, I'm telling you right now. We got to stop believing everything the media tell us.
Listen to me. Listen to me. There's nobody on this damn fucking cruise. Nobody. They're fucking lying. They're gonna start something and it's gonna be really, really bad for all of us. Now listen, The guy that's recording, he goes inside this ship and there's nobody in this cruise but him, okay? Listen, and I'm telling you why they're gonna start it. The World Cup is coming. A lot of people are gonna be around the US, Canada, and Mexico. And they're gonna start with this shit and it's gonna spread like wildfire, you guys. Like wildfire. This is a man-made fucking virus. It's 40% deadly, okay? So they started it. They fucking started. This shit's gonna happen again. Another fucking pandemic. There's nobody in that fucking cruise. Now listen, nobody.
I believe he's telling the truth. That boat probably just sitting in the damn sea, and they set up some cameras. They set up a couple influencers claiming, giving us conflicting stories. Really, they trying to get this contact tracing going on. They're gonna start with a John Doe. Like, why they didn't give us the name of the person who got infected in Switzerland? You know what I'm saying? Like, but they rolled out a plan to use contact tracing like they did in COVID. It's like, look, man, y'all not fooling me. I would agree. I would believe what he's saying before I believe the damn news, y'all. That's how serious this is. But anyway, let's go.
In that fucking cruise, this shit is fake. Listen to me. Listen to me.
And I believe he's probably right. He's probably right. Now, I want y'all to peep something. Hold on one moment. I knew I sent that. But look, here we go.
There's currently a hantavirus outbreak happening right now on a cruise ship. I don't know about you, but this sounds like deja vu. So check this out. As of right now, 3 people have died on this cruise ship, while there's still about 147 to 150 people on the boat. Of those people, that involves passengers and crew members. This ship is docked in the middle of nowhere with 3 dead bodies and other people infected with the hantavirus. Now, this cruise ship is not just sailing around in the ocean, they're actually anchored. And they're anchored off the coast of Praia, Cape Verde. Another thing to keep in mind is that this cruise ship made voyage April 1st, 2026, and it sailed off from Argentina. And yes, it has made a few stops right before the outbreak was even recognized. They made a stop in Antarctica, St. Helena, and also know that they made a stop in Shensen Island to evacuate a very sick British passenger that was flown to South Africa.
So this cruise ship just going to all these places. So any place that they went to, if the news would say somebody from that place contracted this virus, we gonna believe it. And when I say we, I mean the mass majority. They just went on a whole tour, and now all of a sudden, anybody who came from them places got to go back to those places. Anybody from those places, whatever. So this is just insane, man. Let's go.
For intensive care, but it hasn't been confirmed whether or not this passenger was infected with the hantavirus. And as of right now, health officials are trying to figure out where these passengers could have got infected. And quite frankly, it could have been off one of these stops. And they may or may not have infected people they came around in these stops. Sound familiar? About 6 years ago? Along the lines of COVID? And the hantavirus comes from rats. Rodents, like a bat, but without wings. The hantavirus causes severe respiratory problems. And
same thing, COVID came with bats. This come with rats.
Sometimes kidney diseases. And check this out. The hantavirus is really rare for humans to get. It's also not contagious within people. However, if it has a strain of the Andes virus, it's spelled similar to Andres, okay? If it has a strain of that, then it becomes contagious within human to human. And the Hantavirus virus has been found in South America. Just a reminder, this cruise left Argentina, which is the tip of South America.
That's interesting. Somebody put Hantavirus, because that's what it is. They're haunting us with the old virus that hit us. This is the damn ghost of COVID's past. That's what we're looking at, the damn ghost of COVID's past. And they know that memory of COVID, that trauma everybody had to experience, 6 feet apart, You know, they were shutting down outdoor basketball courts. They were shutting down beaches in the middle of the damn summertime. I mean, it was insane. Families wasn't coming together. Concerts went virtual. Everything went virtual. And meanwhile, all this is happening while so much is going on in the world right now. And that's why, you know, it seems like I used to be able to do these streams and just talk about one thing, but it'd be so much happening every single day. I'll be having 3 and 4 topics in one stream. But, you know, we're going to get there. We got to cook, but we're going to be thorough with everything we discuss over here. Let's continue.
Last update that we have got about this cruise ship as of May 5th, 2026 is that the WHO announced that Spain will be welcoming this cruise ship in the Canary Islands. So when more information is to come, I will keep you posted. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's currently a Hantavirus outbreak happening right now.
Yep, we done seen this movie before, y'all. We done seen it before.
And away we go. So you got...
And away we go.
As this Dutch cruise ship has a virus outbreak, a virus called Hantavirus, and as always, I have questions because I think I've seen this movie before. Here's a rundown. A few people have died from the Hantavirus on this cruise ship, including a 70-year-old Dutch man who died on April 11th. Then his wife dies just a few days later in a South African airport when she collapsed. Which even now they sent in a hazmat team to evacuate the ship, but I want everybody to be very aware of what's happening because there's some very eerie parallels. Now, what is the Hantavirus, you ask? It is a collection of viruses carried by rodents through their feces that is deadly to humans. Now listen up, this part is important. They also state that it causes a severe respiratory illness that has a fatality rate up to 50%. Respiratory illness, huh? You guys remember that one time where that respiratory illness was running rampant in 2020 and a very famous wife and husband caught it to kick everything off? It's just coincidence, right? You mean to tell me another famous couple just last year was involved with the same virus, Hantavirus, where Gene Hackman's wife died of the same virus?
Come on now. We watching a real live screenplay, man. Like Shakespeare said, the world is but a stage. It is no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing.
So the first guy who died on the ship with the Hantavirus died on April 11th. That's the same date the Titanic set sail at the point of no return. Now the World Health Organization is stepping up to respond to the Hantavirus because the wife of the guy who died, she dies in a South African airport, but before she took a flight to Johannesburg with 82 other people. Wait, hold up. You mean the same World Health Organization that's mentioned in the Epstein files for preparing for a pandemic? States here to an email to Epstein saying, please find a draft agenda for the meeting on preparing for a pandemic as requested. Let's discuss next steps. For example, how to officially involve the WHO and the International Committee of the Red Cross.
Now, you already know when the World Health Organization when they get involved, oh man, you know, they're basically there to substantiate this thing being real. Therefore, anybody who speaks contrary to it being fake or trying to give any medical advice with how to treat respiratory illnesses, you know, you automatically gonna get pretty much buked off of social media. You know, so when you see WHO get involved, when you see the World Health Organization get involved, just know that this is not just something that's just going to disappear. It's not going to disappear because they already done put their parameters in place. They already put the structure in place to make sure nobody really boots up against it, right? Just something that we got to note.
Best regards, I hope we can pull this off. What? Now, yes, they could be on one hand talking about COVID, but I always say COVID was a precursor to something bigger. Now the WHO urges all those passengers on that flight with the wife who died in South Africa on April 25th to contact them immediately concerning the Hantavirus. And if that's not weird enough, back in 2024, Moderna and a Korean university co-developed a hantavirus vaccine. How convenient. States here that
they already then co-developed the damn vaccine, y'all. They already. Now, how the hell could you develop a vaccine for something that people are only getting from rats? Now, let me remind you, people wasn't contracting this virus from person to person. It was coming from rats. So how the hell, who would make a vaccine for that? Who would sit up there and say, you know, this is for people who like eating rat turds? You know what I mean? Like, this is for people who just be sitting there playing with rats. Let's create a vaccine for people who likes to sleep with rats and lay around in their feces and urine. That's not how this works. It's not, this is not how this works. Here we go again.
They had a full-scale collaboration with the Vaccine Center at the Korean University College of Medicine to develop an mRNA-based hantavirus vaccine. And it's all interesting timing for travel in general. Spirit Airlines went out of business. You have Delta canceling food and drink service, canceling thousands of flights. It's almost like they want us to just stay put.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. And, I'm involved in the travel industry. I hear a lot of the talks that's going on right now. And one travel word I need everybody to remember is evacuate. Evacuate is the word of the day. Anyway, let's go.
I did a bigger breakdown on YouTube, so make sure you guys go check that out. And let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Yeah, they shut down Spirit Airlines because that was a subliminal message. Right now, they got to aim after the spirit of Americans. That's what's happening right now. And
so I just went to Kroger.
We're gonna go there. We are going to go there.
If the current cruise ship stuck out at sea because of the hantavirus outbreak, if you have a cruise coming up, should you be concerned? Let's talk about it. The MV Hantavirus, a ship that's currently on the coast of Cape Verde, had an outbreak of the hantavirus. It's a virus that is rarely spread by humans. It is primarily seen in rodents such as rats or mice. Currently, 6 people have been infected, and sadly, 3 of those people have passed away. Right now, the ship is not being allowed to dock because they're trying to come up with a game plan of how to properly screen people so that this virus does not spread. And this has brought into question if this is something that you have to worry about if you have an upcoming cruise. The quick answer is not necessarily. According to my research, this virus is very rare. However, this is the perfect time to reiterate how important it is to wash your hands while you're cruising.
Now, why while you're cruising? Now, I want y'all to just imagine this. Now, all of a sudden, taking a cruise is synonymous with the hantavirus. Like, am I in an alternative universe? So while you're on a cruise, you need to wash your hands. But when you at home, you know what I'm saying? Or you in a farm or at a barnyard or you at the zoo, you ain't got to worry about it. Only when you at a cruise, you need to wash your hands because you can get the hantavirus. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy how the narrative really takes away deductive reasoning. Yeah, wash your hands anyway. How about that? But if you on a cruise or you on a plane, for some reason, you in way more danger of getting sick and dying. This is the message that they're trying to spread to us. I'm just saying, man.
Constantly wash your hands. Wash your hands when you're getting something to eat. Wash your hands if you're having a snack. Wash your hands, of course, if you're going in and out of the bathroom. If you're going through the buffet, you're going to be touching surfaces all throughout the ship that hundreds and hundreds of other people have touched. So make sure that you are washing your hands. When you have high traffic and tons of people coming in and out, touching the same surfaces every day, you're going to have the spread of germs, which is why it's important that you are washing your hands, that you are sanitizing your hands, and if you are feeling ill in any way, just stay home. My heart truly goes out to the passengers of that ship, as well as the people who unfortunately were infected. And I hope that there's a solution for this soon so that the people can get home.
I like that, Tania. How about everybody how about we wash our spirit? How about wash our brains? That's real brainwashing. Don't let the toxic media put us in fear. Don't let them stop us from living our lives and enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? Let's not let these damn warlocks that control the country let us fall for the nonsense that they put out. How about that?
Healthy and safely to their families. I hope this is helpful. As always, safe travels and
I hear what she's saying. I'm not trying to disrespect the young lady, y'all. So people out there, I'm not really trying to disrespect her. I'm just pointing out the obvious that a lot of this just doesn't seem right.
Our assumption is that has happened.
I'm so sorry to make another video about this, but they are now, through some investigation, are theorizing that it has probably transferred human to human, which has never happened before. Before it was, you had to inhale the remnants of the droppings or the urine from the rodent, or had to live on foam lights and then be transferred and then touch your face. Now they're theorizing that maybe the virus has evolved and now it can be transferred person to person. Droplet. Hey, remember, coughs and sneezes carry 14 feet. Remember the lady who was married to the Dutch guy who died on the cruise ship? She tried to...
So basically, somebody coughing rat pellets 14 feet. Them rat pellets hit you in your face. I don't know how they just got these mutated rat pellets. They cough 14 feet from here. You ain't got a big ass pamper on your face. Then you can contract the virus and die in 48 hours, basically, is what they try to tell us.
Fly back, collapsed in Johannesburg, took a commercial flight, no medical escort, and collapsed in the airport and also sadly passed away. Bears to mention, Kansas is hosting Argentina, which is where the virus probably originated, where the cruise left from, is hosting
okay, so why not? Who the one kissed the rat's asshole to begin with? That's what I want to know. Who did that? And then decided to look, I'm not trying to make light out of this situation. I'm just saying, man, I just cannot believe the things that I be hearing from these people. You're sitting up here telling me that a virus that only came from rodents is now human to human all of a sudden in 2026, randomly on a cruise ship. On a cruise ship, out of all places, a cruise ship that no rodents was found. Who was the John Doe that was out here being nasty with rats, bro? Like, what's going on here? What? Like, anyway, let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
Argentina for the World Cup in June.
Our assumption is that has happened.
I'm so sorry to make another video about this, but they are now through some...
That's how they tried to push the AIDS epidemic, talking about somebody was doing something strange with a monkey. You know what I mean? When really, I ain't gonna get too far into this, but AIDS is really an autoimmune deficiency, meaning you got something wrong. You got some underlying health problem that is affecting your immune system. There's people who never had sex that's been diagnosed with AIDS. There's people who never had intercourse in foreign lands where they tried to push eugenics. Often Africa is little kids that have been diagnosed with that because they had underlying health problems. This is just a fact. So it's like they be telling us stuff, but they're not. It's like they be telling us stuff that can really, really affect and kill people. Like they're making us aware of things, but they always have a cover story for what it is or where it came from. They always have a cover story for its origin. What if I told you the mind is powerful enough to make you sick? The mind is. I'm gonna tell y'all an interesting story. Sunshine, thank you for the support. She says C19 was from a bat, now hantavirus from a rat. They're trying to lock us down again for another mass genocide. Stay woke and prayerful. Absolutely. 100. 100. Now, I want to tell you how powerful the human mind is. Do you know there was someone who was ready to end their life? They wanted to self-delete. So they overdosed on a certain mental health, on a certain psychotropic. They tried to overdose. Do y'all know that the person, they had all, after they took these pills, you know, their heart rate went up. They decided, look, I'm gonna call an ambulance. I no longer want to self-delete. And their body was going through it. You know, they had to resuscitate this person. The person was literally dying. All of their organs were beginning to shut down, right? Do you know when they got to the hospital to actually detox the person, they found out that the pills the person took was a placebo. A placebo. So the person was always a person who thought they had mental health issues, and they, you know, so they were prescribed a placebo. They tried to overdose on the medicine, had all of the effects of an overdose, foaming of the mouth, everything, organs shutting down, everything. And guess what did that? Their mind did it. Their mind did it. That's how powerful the human mind is. Now, I just want you to like really contemplate on that. So when you see stuff going on in the news, really, really consider what they're trying to do. For real. And right now, they're doing all of this because of the simple fact that people, they want out of America. They want out of America. This is America right now.
This might be the saddest thing I've seen in a long time. I want you to listen to this.
Yesterday, I'm 65 years old. I'm legally blind. I'm on disability. I went to my doc and I lost 20.
Hey, brother Gustav, salute to you, bro. I appreciate the support, man. Salute to my brother Gustav there. Long time no see, man. I see you still supporting the work, man. I appreciate you, brother.
8 pounds in the last year. I did not need to lose 28 pounds. I did not try to lose 28 pounds. I lost the 28 pounds because I cannot afford to eat anymore. Under Biden, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Under Biden, I was able to put $100 a month away for food, along with my SNAP, and I did okay. I could get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and meat. It is just me. But now, with grocery prices so high, propane, electricity out of this world, I now only allow myself $65 a month for food.
Sharon, are you on SNAP benefits?
Let me tell you, under Joe Biden, I received $80 a month for SNAP. That was taken away from me under Donald Trump. He took it away. He gave me $24 a month. I did receive that for a couple of months. Then he took it down to $12.50 a month. I said, screw you. So I'm not doing that no more. So now I get $65 a month, Mimi. And for them people out there, all these Republicans that are doing so flippin' well right now, I have 3 potatoes. I have a half a tomato. I have 3 bananas, 1 apple, 1 can of soup, a half a loaf of bread, 1 egg, and 1 can of green beans. I do not get paid until the 3rd. I am disability blind. I cannot drive a car. I'm 15 miles out of town, so I am not able to just trot my butt down to the food shelf. I used to volunteer at the food shelf. I can't even do that anymore. I don't understand. I'd like somebody to explain to me, why is it always the poor people that are helping the poor people? I don't understand. But what I want to say, Mimi, is that it's really close to coming. Like that man said, the end is coming near, and it can't be any more true for me.
That is Trump's America. This might be the saddest thing I've seen in a long time.
Not only are the grocery prices going up, right now in Los Angeles, gas prices, a gallon is higher than the federal minimum wage. Federal minimum wage is like $7, $7.25. Gas is $7.50. Now, mind you, gas is going up everywhere, but none of these jobs are giving anybody a raise. You got groceries going up. You got gas going up. So let me get this right. You gas your vehicle up to go to these jobs, work for about 9 hours, only have 4 or 5 hours to yourself because the rest of the time you got to get some sleep. You work more than you have time for yourself. Then you got to pay more gas just to go to these companies where they won't even offer you a dollar raise. They won't offer you a 15-cent raise. They won't offer you a 50-cent raise, but you expected to use that gas to get there. America is squeezing the life out of its people. And it's a sad situation. And a lot of people have to endure.
They thought by 2026 we'd have flying cars, but
I can't play this one because he has a song on there that's copywritten. But what I will do is I'm going to mute this and I'm going to explain what you're looking at. The future is here, a dystopian future. Now, these are new carts right here. Now, these new carts are in a lot of the Whole Food places. These carts already have a built-in camera. They already have they're pretty much completely autonomous. You can check out using these carts. They have connections to your Amazon accounts, everything where you can pay right there using your cart. And these are already spread out. And it's really just incentivizing customers to get the market of beast. It's really incentivizing customers to get the new technology, to have access to actual whole food. This is really going into some biblical times right now. They're making the food damn near unaffordable. And then at the same time, they're putting this stuff out there to try to incentivize you to get the market of beast. And, you know, it's basically spreading out in different locations already. And we know the people who own these Whole Foods are Wiccans, right? So y'all see what they on. Y'all see what they are on. Let's continue here.
Again, we're not doing this. A man in Switzerland
has been confirmed to have the Hantavirus strain that's on that cruise ship. Now, he was on that cruise ship and somewhere along the line got off the ship and went back to Switzerland. He's in the hospital now. Yup. His wife is in quarantine, and the World Health Organization is doing contact tracing because this man likely got on an airplane, maybe a couple of them, to get from wherever he got off that ship to Switzerland. Now,
So contact chasing is already being used again, y'all, with this hantavirus already.
Now, the Swiss authorities are saying the risk of further spread within Switzerland is very low. They are doing contact tracing. And again, the World Health Organization is saying that this virus is very rare. And this particular strain, the Andean strain, is the only one that can transmit human to human. But the conditions do need to be right. And honestly, a cruise ship does kind of set the ideal conditions for something like this to spread quickly. But I do think we are going to continue to see more cases pop up, but I don't think it's going to be full on buy the toilet paper, stockpile everything, but just keep an eye on it, because I don't want to be pandemicing again. I'm not doing it. No.
Right. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on this, and hopefully it comes to naught. You know, I'm not sitting up here trying to say that it's definitely going to be COVID 2.0, but it looks like we're seeing a lot of similarities. Maybe they're just haunting the people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
High cost of living is causing Americans to throw in the towel and give up. This system isn't sustainable. It's literally meant to benefit the 1% and only the 1%. You can work hard all week and still not be provided with enough money to pay your rent, pay for groceries, pay for necessities, nothing. And then people still try to turn around and gaslight you into making it all out to be your fault. It's like, what's the deal here? We're all just expected to keep our mouth shut and just keep working and working and working until we develop health problems, until, you know, we have heart attacks, until we literally pass away. Because that's kind of how it's starting to feel here. And it realistically isn't really a life that's worth living, even in the slightest. People are literally fed up. People are at their wits' end with this shit. People are checking out at unprecedented rates. And instead of showing empathy, instead of showing compassion, instead of showing the slightest bit of humanity, all a lot of people really know how to do anymore is kick people while they're already down. I'm not really sure what's happened to America, but it's absolutely nothing to be proud of.
I was thinking, it seemed like it wasn't meant for you to retire. They keep moving the goalposts. And right now they're trying to push it to 70. It's almost like you was never meant to get Social Security. You know what I mean? So I think people need to put their own retirement in their own hands going forward. I know people are like, okay, what about my 401k? What about, man, get with somebody and try to invest that thing yourself. Because I don't know if you're going to be able to retire working for a corporation, you will never have enough. Or by the time you retire, you're so sick from being on pharmaceuticals to the point where you ain't got a life truly worth living. If you retire,
high cost of living is.
You know what the Bible tells us? And in 2nd Esdras 16:40, it says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So this Bible verse is telling you to stay spiritually grounded during these chaotic, uncertain times. But it's also telling us to be as pilgrims, meaning don't be consumed by fear. Be ready to move. It wants you to be spiritually grounded, but physically active. Spiritually grounded, physically active. That's what that scripture is telling you. A pilgrim does what? A pilgrim is going to make some moves. A pilgrim might have to take what they got on their back and go to a different situation and start all over. That means be quick to just start over. Be quick to start from scratch. Have a nomadic mentality when it comes to how you operate. So, you know, the Bible tells us ways to maneuver during this time. For sure.
You have 14 days
Not a metaphor, not a dramatic opener to grab your attention. A literal, mathematical, unavoidable 14-day countdown. And when that clock hits 0, the price of everything you buy, everything you eat, and everything that runs on energy is going to explode in a way that will make the last 3 years of inflation feel like a minor inconvenience. Here's what just happened, and why those 14 days matter more than anything else happening on the planet right now. Iran just destroyed the American command center in Bahrain. Not damaged, not disrupted, destroyed. The nerve center coordinating U.S. military operations across the entire Gulf region, gone. And in the same strike package, Iran hit Bahrain's oil facilities, fuel storage, processing infrastructure, the physical machinery that moves Gulf oil from the ground to the tankers to the global market. But that's just the opening act. In the last 48 hours, Iran has also struck Abu Dhabi's airport, hit the Fujairah oil depot, one of the most strategically critical fuel storage facilities in the world, attacked Qatar's LNG infrastructure, hit Kuwait, struck UAE positions, and continued pounding every American military installation it can reach across the Gulf. This isn't a military campaign anymore. This is a surgical economic demolition. Iran isn't trying to win a battle. Iran is trying to strangle the global economy until the world forces America to leave. And they have found the exact pressure point that makes every country on Earth, not just the ones being bombed, feel the pain within weeks. Here's the mechanism, and pay close attention because this is the most important thing you'll hear today. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed to oil traffic. Ships aren't moving. Tankers are anchored. The oil that Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE pump out of the ground every single day has nowhere to go, so it gets stored, pumped into massive holding tanks on land while the world waits for the strait to reopen. Those storage tanks are almost full. Maximum capacity, 10 to 14 days away. The moment those tanks hit capacity, the Gulf states have only one option: stop pumping. You cannot produce oil you have nowhere to put. Production shuts down, and the second Gulf production shuts down, the global oil supply doesn't tighten. It collapses. Demand stays exactly where it is. 7 billion people still need fuel, heat, food transportation, manufacturing, but the supply side just fell off a cliff. Oil analysts are currently modeling price scenarios of $50 to $80 per barrel above current levels in a matter of days after production stops. Not weeks, days. Because markets don't wait for the physical shortage to arrive. They price it in the moment the shutdown becomes inevitable. And here's how that hits you personally right now, wherever you are in the world. Every $10 increase in oil prices adds roughly $400 to $500 per year to the average household's cost of living. Not just at the pump, that's the visible part. The invisible part is that oil is embedded in literally everything. The plastic in your phone, the fertilizer that grew your food, the truck that delivered it, the electricity that powered the store, the packaging it came in. You have 14 days. Not a metaphor.
And he's right. You know, at the end of the day, this is what's inevitable. In about 14 days, things are going to dry up. In America, prices are going to skyrocket because of the so-called energy crisis and the fuel crisis. Now, this is not something that the man is just saying to be sensational. No, you have a system. There's a deadline of how things operate and how things work. And this is where we're at with it right now. Now, the scriptures tell us in Isaiah 26:3, thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. See, even during instability, the fear cycles they push, the uncertainty they push, the scriptures always emphasize that you got to have inner stability and discernment. You got to have it no matter what. And that's something that you gain internally, knowing why things are going the way they're going, understanding why this thing has to end the way it is.
The old world is ending. A new earth is forming. People are starting to realize there's something incredibly wrong with our world right now. While some people keep saying, oh my gosh, the world is ending, the awakened ones are realizing that the world is not actually ending. A new world is emerging. If they keep you in fear, then yes, it feels like the world is ending. But if you're awakened and you're operating in love in your highest vibration, then you realize that we're just entering a new world where people realize that everything they've been taught that they know is all a lie. We need to work together in the community and stop entertaining that corruption up there. Up there, they want you to fight for money, kill each other, fight each other, be against each other. Whole time, the elites are literally sitting back watching it, laughing. Money is the end goal of everything. But down here, we could be in love and in harmony with the community and work together and love each other, which is totally possible. The old world is ending. A new earth is forming.
Right. And, you know, for people who finds it scary that the old world is ending, they would fight for the system. They would subconsciously fight to keep things the way it is. Then they'll start falling in love with how things are now because they have a fear for the unknown. You know, they have a fear for what's to come. When the Bible make it clear what's to come, you know, like really in this world we're living in right now, we're shackled and chained, but the chains are invisible, you know, and when you can't see it, you'll fight for what you believe is a norm, and none of this is normal. You know, the end game of the global elite is control. You know, once you understand that the Most High is going to send his son to actually rectify the situation and do things over, renew everything, and that we're going to be ruling, then you're not really fearful of what's to come. Let me see. Somebody post a scripture, says, your desire, but it says James 4:2. You desire, but do not have. So you kill. You covet, but you cannot get what you want. So you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask the Most High. See, that's another thing. And then the Bible also tells us when we keep our eyes on things of the spirit, all other things will be added unto us. All other things will be added unto us. There's no need to live in fear. You have to have perfect peace and harmony, no matter what comes against you. You have to have that peace because the Most High, he examines our hearts. He knows our weaknesses. He knows our shortcomings. He knows what we battle with, what we struggle with. And he knows that, you know, he knows our hearts. He knows what our intentions are. He knows what we are here for. And what does the Bible say? Christ says that you may live and live abundantly. That's his vision that he had for us. The vision he had for us is perfect harmony, not fear. A life where we will live and enjoy life. You know, I'm finding myself just blocking people for saying random things in the chat. Somebody's talking about a greasy T-bone. I'm just seeing random comments. And so when I'm seeing this random comments while we're really having these deep discussions, I'm either timing y'all out or blocking y'all. You have to make sense of what you're talking about. I don't know if you're watching an old part of the stream, but when you're watching a live stream, it's a little bit distracting because I'm seeing these random things. I read the chat the whole time I'm streaming almost. And when I see random stuff, it's probably because you were further back in the stream. But when you're watching, make sure you're viewing up to date, up to the right timestamp. But yeah, this stuff is what's going on in the world right now, y'all. This is what's going on in America. Hold on, let me see here.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick, okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage. Even though everything else went up. There is no scarcity. It is how do we pit people against each other so they're too distracted to see everything that I'm too addicted to consuming. And how much profit I'm making, and more profit, how many more houses one individual can have, how many yachts can one individual have, regardless of whether I am a female, male, whatever. I am a human being first. With what conscience are you criminalizing poverty? And it's not going to stop just in the United States. The poor of the world, not just this country, are fed up. And let's not leave out rural communities. I live in Haines City, Polk County, Florida, okay? But do you think that the poor and rural communities have transportation? They don't. There's absolutely not even a sidewalk to walk on, because I am giving the message of stay poor, stay hidden, and die silently, okay? If I get a job, how do I get to that job? If I even get it when I'm in a rural community. There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that. We're spending more time working for a system that's fallen than actually living life. That's not what life is supposed to be, man. That's not how life is supposed to be. You're supposed to spend your time living your life, not just working for something that's uncertain all the time. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Absolutely. Absolutely. Most High don't give us the spirit of fear. He give us the spirit of love, a sound mind. Regardless of what the adversary tries to plant into your minds. The Bible says, cast down all imaginations of that. Straight up.
So while you were distracted with everything happening in Dubai, do you even know that Cuba has fallen? Or has that also been suppressed on your timeline as well? Cuba is at the brink of societal collapse, with many US politicians currently saying that it's likely to fully collapse in the next coming weeks or months if it even gets to that point. Cuba, the same country that was in the Bad Bunny song that you also happened to sing a couple weeks ago, they really need our help. Because the US have had a trade embargo on Cuba for over 60 years, decades of restricting trade, restricting financial investments, completely draining and suppressing the country. The United States have targeted oil shipments from Cuba, have discouraged other countries like Mexico and Venezuela, stopping them from giving Cuba any oil, which, by the way, is directly contributing to the mass or fuel shortage happening right now in Cuba. Like, it's so peak. We are on the wrong side of history, guys, okay? Even the United Nations themselves have said that this embargo perpetrated by the United States worsens shortages of food, medicine, basic needs. But please, pray tell, did you even know any of this? Or is your timeline currently suppressing the fact that Cuba is falling? So while you were distracted with everything happening in Dubai, do you even know that Cuba...
Yeah, we got multiple countries that are going to be falling. The Philippines are in a state of emergency right now. When we talk about global conflict, we got to understand this battle with the Strait of Hormuz, and pardon me, the battle regarding the Strait of Hormuz between Israel and and Iran and America. It's stifling the whole entire world, y'all. It's putting a clamp on everything and everybody. And there's countries, like smaller countries, who are a little bit more weak, who rely on this oil more than others. Man, you're going to just start seeing countries just collapse. Imagine it being normal to just turn on your news and another country is in the dark. Another country doesn't have any energy. We're not just talking about power outages in communities. We're talking about entire countries with no power because of the energy crisis, because of the fuel crisis. And this is just the beginning of this. Imagine after a year of this, what type of mayhem is going to take place worldwide in the streets. Imagine how many robberies, murders, death. Imagine how many casualties it will be out there. People lighting fires, running around in the streets. How many pyromaniacs is going to pop out? How many kidnappers is going to pop out? Like, when you really look at what's happening in the world, you would see why Iran is evil as well as America. You'll see why they both evil. You would see, because, and you can see that it's clearly been orchestrated to be this way. Now, I want y'all to consider something. Well, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna keep that one. Now, I'll save that for like Patreon or something like that. Because there's certain things I could say, but you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove on this platform. But I'm gonna hold that. But anyway, let's continue here. Because right now they are ramping up their surveillance with ICE, and all the vehicles in 2027 moving forward are going to be watching everyone 24/7.
So Donald Trump is now doubling down on his idea to rename ICE to NICE. He's now posted a logo saying NICE, National Immigration and Customs Enforcement, instead of just ICE agents. Now, Donald Trump recently posted a tweet saying that he wants to do this to make the media say NICE agents every day to try to own them, which I think is pathetic. But this is also a perfect representation of the Trump regime. Their entire goal is to own the libs and own the media, make them say NICE agents instead of ICE agents. That'll show them. Instead of, putting forward real reforms on issues facing Americans every single day. There's zero immigration reform. The only one he's proposing is this: changing the name. This is where we are as a country. So Donald Trump is now doubling down on his idea to rename ICE to NICE. He's now posted a logo saying NICE, National Immigration.
Yeah, they really trying it. Now, for those who don't know, ICE just got $55 billion, not million, $billion. $55 billion was given to ICE for all kind of advances. They have new detainment facilities. They got facial recognition technology. They got, you name it. They got different applications they're using. They have access to various databases. And it has gotten crazy because freedom is on the line here in America. And I want y'all to peep this because the surveillance is already crazy in America.
The fuck? Nigga, I'm in the middle of traffic, bro. Would you look at this shit, bro? Look, I can't, everything is locked. Cybertruck deactivated. Look at this shit, bro. Cars all on the side of me, bro. What the fuck? Bro, I gotta call a Tesla, bro. What the fuck? Bro. Like, what the fuck? I can't move the car, bro. I'm stranded as fuck. Hell no, bro. The fuck? Nigga, I'm in the middle of...
Hey, leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. Told you, these Tesla vehicles going to be stalled on the road. They're going to shut down whenever they want. And it's getting real with this, man. Hold on, let me see something.
We can't do another plague right now.
That's not the one I was looking for. There's a video out here where these cameras in the vehicles are a lady tells her story. Yeah, peep this. Listen to this here.
Yeah, so you're going to want to watch all of this one.
I've seen a few posts about this and I wanted to comment on it because I have a personal experience with it. It isn't something that's happening in the future, it's something that's happening now. I rented a car in Europe, and as the woman handed me the car keys, she said, "This is a brand new car." And she was like super excited about it. She was like, "It's 2026. And I was like, awesome. No one's had a chance to like fart or smoke in it. This will be great. And I driven it for a day or two, and I was getting on a highway. It was a 6-lane highway. And all of a sudden the gas stopped working, and I'm pressing on the gas. I can't get the car to go. So the car is dinging. It's making all this noise, and I can't figure out what's going on. And I look at the dashboard, and in English, it says, "Sit up straight. We can't find your eyes." Why do you need to see my eyes? That was my first thought. And I'm short, so I sit low in the seat. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I'd been driving a while and I'd kind of slouch down more instead of sitting upright. And when I sat upright, the gas would work once again. And so I pressed the gas, but I was slowing down enough that it was going to cause a traffic hazard. And the thing is, it knew I wasn't asleep because I was pressing on the gas. So it knew I was awake. It just wanted to see my eyes. So once I sat upright and leaned forward, I guess it did facial recognition. And then it says, may I send you these results to a third party? To which I said, no, you may not. No. Who is the third party? Who, first of all, who's watching me drive the car to begin with? Secondly, who is the third party you're sending it to? And lastly, it is so dangerous. There are so many scenarios where losing control of the gas can put a car in a very dangerous situation. Like, what if I was pulling out in front of a semi truck? What if I was going over a railroad track? And the absolute worst part is the argument for this is to combat sleepy drivers. And the truth is, if you fall asleep while you're driving, you're not going to be pushing down all the way on the gas. You're going to let up. You're going to relax. No one keeps their foot pointed while they're asleep.
Yep.
And if they say, well, what about cruise control? Then just take off cruise control. Disable cruise control in cars. That's the solution. Not, I need to see your eyeballs for the car to work. There's so many dangerous implications for this. But even if you're using it just for the good implication, you know, sleepy drivers, we need to see eyeballs at all times, it's still wrong. It's still a stupid idea.
Yeah, so you're going to want to watch all of this one.
This is not just for Teslas either. Somebody in the chat said, oh, don't buy no Tesla cars. I feel you on that. Don't do that. However, for the record, man, this is for every new vehicle. And it's actually a law passed for every 2027 vehicle. There will be cameras in the dash, and they will have a kill switch. The kill switch will shut down your vehicle if they don't believe you are set to drive. So they're going to be reading your eye scan, meaning they'll be doing retina detections. They're going to be scanning your eyes. It's going to be crazy work, man. I'm telling you. Like, they may even come up with a way to ban people from owning cars in the near future, just so they can keep that control. Like, I seen something earlier also. I don't know if I have this clip, but man, this is dude, he's riding on the highway and it's a delivery truck and that joint is driving itself. Dude, like, I know you lying. He look over there, the truck is driving itself. So they're trying to automate everything. This AI is moving crazy. So, like, even if you're a truck driver, they're setting automation up for that. So they can straight up make their own deliveries. Let me see, is this the one right here?
We are not meant to be living like.
No, that's not it. But let me see if I got that video, because I couldn't believe it. You don't believe it till you see it, especially a truck that size. Just on the road being drove by AI. I don't know if I probably didn't save that video, but that's crazy work. Oh, here you go. No, that ain't it. That's the EMS video. Yeah, but the stuff it's gotten real. The stuff has gotten real, man. Yeah, but anyway, I say all that to say, ladies and gentlemen, we just got to move accordingly. We got to prepare for the times, stay in our word, stay prayed up, do the best we can do to make it out the other end of all of this. And it starts off with keeping your mind sharp and know what's going on. You know, when we do this material here, it's all about drawing awareness. It's all about letting you know what's happening, so you could just move accordingly, mentally, physically, spiritually, and just prepare. Just prepare. Somebody said the crotch camera's pointed straight down to see right through your windshield into your lap. That's crazy. Somebody in the chat says EMS. I'm waiting for EMP videos. No, I was talking about the EMS that the ones in Florida that have expanded. Somebody says, be led by God and the Spirit always. Absolutely. It's always an honor and a blessing building with people who are like-minded, who actually pay attention to these things that are going on. I want to let it be known that I'm grateful to have such an audience, because in my everyday life, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you all can relate to this, It's very difficult to have these conversations and draw awareness to what's going on amongst most people because they just don't want to see what's going on. Or it comes off as you're being too deep, or you're fear mongering, or, you know, it's one of those situations that they just try to avoid. So it's good having people who embrace truth because the truth will set you free. It's good having people who understand that we're not operating in fear, but we're conscious to what's going on. And we can see that these things clearly are not normal. But one love to y'all. Thank y'all. Support the work, newbreedglobaltruth.com. Also, feel free to support me via Cash App. New Breed Global Truth is the Cash App. In case the scan does not work, New Breed Global Truth is the Cash App. And also support HebrewCare.com as well. One love to y'all. Y'all have a beautiful evening. With that being said, shalom, peace.